wish you wouldn't say some shit, cause some of that shit really cut me deep. Some of that shit can make me back up and leave. Some of that shit can make me cut you and watch you bleed. Mama said these words could never hurt me, but I'm here to see you wrong, mama. Some words really put me in my zone, mama. Where I wanna be left all alone, mama. And thinking is this motherfucker really for me? Do this bitch really, really love me? When you mad, you say something, and deep down those words I don't want to believe. And I do my dirt, so it ain't all you. I'm guilty and I know I play my part. Baby, I hate when we argue, cause those words just have me in my feelings. In my feelings. Got me in my feelings. Got me in my feelings. Look, and I do my dirt, so it ain't all you. I'm guilty and I know I blame my part. Baby, I hate when we argue, cause those words just have me in my feelings. Stop the press, don't you do it. We all should think before we through. Words can be cool just like broken music. Now I'm stuck in my zone, just me and my dude. Shit really real life, don't play like I move. Let's talk it all over one at your cruise. We might be mad, but it won't last too long. Guess that's what put my feelings in this song. These feelings when I'm stuck all in my feelings. You can try and say what's wrong, don't know if you can take when I spill it. Cause it's really my feelings and we all have them all. But I'm just in mine a little deep. Know like I know your girl is a key. We all go through a minds a little deep. Know like I know your girl is a key. But these feelings, yeah. In my feelings. Got me in my feelings. In my feelings. My feelings. In my feelings. Got me in my feelings. In my feelings. I don't know if I should just go off. I don't know if I should be cool. All these emotions pulling me in different ways. I don't really know what to do. You say you love me and I'm everything that is. I say I wear your last name, carry your kids. But when we mad, these words are really what it is. When we arguing, I wish we wouldn't say some shit. I'm in my feelings. Have me in my feelings. I'm in my feelings. Look, and I do my dirt, so it ain't all you. I'm guilty and I know I blame my part. Baby, I hate when we argue, cause those words just have me in my feelings. In my feelings. Got me in my feelings. Got me in my feelings. And I do my dirt, so it ain't all you. I'm guilty and I know I blame my part. Baby, I hate when we argue, cause those words just have me in my feelings. Fuck. I do this shit on purpose. Yeah. Never sweat the small shit, man. I'm a hater. I keep these hoes in their feelings. Stay on my note. I'm about my business. Every time I go get it, I come back with it. Bitch, I'm really with it. I say hurt, not hater feelings. I'm a hater. I keep these hoes in their feelings. Stay on my note. I'm about my business. Every time I go get it, I come back with it. Bitch, I'm really with it. I say hurt, not hater feelings. I be turned up in that thing. For the nigga from Interstate, it's just my buddy and me. My grind go everywhere I go. Ain't met no better me than me. I love be stepping on niggas' toes. Yeah, I be flies, I wanna be. Bitches get turned on by my clothes. Pull out the chips and the cheese, and that bitch is not yours. I pay up my bank account, match the wallet in my clothes. That's that paper in the pockets on the jeans on my outfit. Ain't no shortage of hustle. Yeah, I stay on my best shit. Niggas folding, bitches folding, solo checks is two-step. And niggas is hoes and bitches is hoes, and I don't fuck with loose lips. You're a lame ass nigga if you still sweating small shit. nothing but action is required when you really with the shit. I'm killing them dead with no dirt. Yeah, I know that shit gotta hurt. I put that nickel with that dime, and I got the whole dollar's worth. Haters gon' hate and they gon' talk, and them bitches gon' lurk. But that's their job, and I'ma keep giving them bitches that work. I'm a hater. I keep these hoes in their feelings. Stay on my note. I'm about my business. Every time I go get it, I come back with it. Bitch, I'm really with it. I stay hurting, I hate them feelings. I'm a hater. I keep these hoes in their feelings. Stay on my note. I'm about my business. Every time I go get it, I come back with it. Bitch, I'm really with it. I stay hurting, I hate them feelings. All contrast, nigga with a bankroll. Been having haters on their toes since the snot nose. Watch creating lanes, bitch, I'm all the way off-road. I just be making my way downtown on these back roads. I got a foot on the gas and I got a foot on that neck. I got a hand in the game and I got a hand on that check. That love is fake, but them haters don't give me my respect. I know they hate cause I give them every reason to do that. You fuck with when you think bigger than these streets. If you're out here riding the wave in solo Texas, still catching this breeze. You gotta have that picture just to get them to breathe. But don't judge it by its cover, you got the head to see. And you can sleep on that couch, but don't sleep on me. Because I'm on these hoes' neck like a fat bird. So all you mad motherfuckers to turn y'all nose up at me. Yeah, I know this shit gotta hurt every time you see me. I'm a hater. I keep these hoes in their feelings. Stay on my note. I'm about my business. Every time I go get it, I come back with it. Bitch, I'm really with it. I stay hurting, I hate the feelings. I'm a hater. I keep these hoes in their feelings. Stay on my note. I'm about my business. Every time I go get it, I come back with it. Bitch, I'm really with it. I stay hurting, I hate the feelings. I know this shit gotta hurt. Certified haters. I keep the balls in their feet. Yeah. I know this shit gotta hurt. This that gorilla music. Shout out to my team. This is for the team. I eat, sleep, shit, shave, bathe with my team, misbehave with my team. I fight, laugh, hustle, lie, cry with my team, cause inspired with my team. I heart reside with my team. Please don't play with my team, cause that's something we do not do. And if it's fuck my team, then you gotta know it's fuck. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Let's Chat Dallas on Hot Pink Radio, Pride Radio. Okay, I am the Duchess, your host, and you can follow me, of course, on Facebook, Cherie Stern. That's my government name. You can also follow me at Let's Chat Dallas Radio on Instagram. You can join my Facebook group, Let's Chat Dallas, the Facebook page, Let's Chat Dallas, and also Hot Pink Radio. And if you are a lesbian who loves the Lord, you can join my Lesbian Who Loves the Lord ministry page. The Lord is just really blessing me right now. Ooh, yeah. Okay, let me stop. Anyway, y'all, you can listen to replays of this show. I'm here all by myself. Anyway,
The replays of this great show, and also, the new radio station is coming along very nicely, and we'll be ready to go on some soon day. All right. So, also visit the new website at hotpinkradio.com, and feel free to explore the website. Please visit the website, give it some traffic or whatever. I think I might have some type of a contest, some type of, oh, is my screen showing? Hold up, y'all. Y'all know it can get a little, uh, I hope this thing don't fall. That's like my worst nightmare. Okay. Because I have my green screen up today because, who out here laughing at me? Shut up. Anyway, so let's see where was that. I think I might have some type of a scavenger hunt on the new website so I can know that y'all are going over there and listening and looking at the radio station and looking at the new site as I build. Okay, and so go to that site, hotpinkradio.com, and let's see, where was I at? I got it all wrote out. Okay, never mind all that. Anyway, please also subscribe to our YouTube channel and YouTube, Let's Chat Dallas, and click on the notifications button so that you can be alerted every time we update our channel with the new content. We are live right now on YouTube, as well as in another group that I moderate, the Women of Color Lesbian Love and Support Group. So if you don't know about that group, please look it up. Oh, I got to shine, child. Okay, anyway. So look that group up. We help. Well, we don't help nobody really. Anyway, but we are a fun group to interact with. So, Women of Color, Lesbian Love and Support Group. We are live in that group as well. And then, of course, interact with us on Instagram and all that kind of good stuff. Finally, if you would like to submit your music to play on Hot Pink Radio Station, where we put LGBTQ artists, music in heavy rotation, then please send it in MP3 format to leschatdallas@gmail.com. And some of the music that you heard playing, before I got started here with the live, is from Chad McQueen in Vegas. Hey, Chad, if you see this. And also from our very own Just Lee and Solo TX. So, hey, guys, we just moving right along, okay? Okay, so I have a couple of guests today, and if you saw on my avatar, I am going to bring into the stream now LaShonda King. Hello, LaShonda, the Compton counselor, and one of my favorite women of color group members, Just Jay. That is all. And you would have to be in the group over at Women of Color, Lesbian Love and Support, to know that all the ladies love Jay. The ladies
Oh
love
my
Jay.
gosh, I can't believe it.
Yes, they do.
Nah.
They do. We always get complaints about you.
Yeah, y'all do.
Oh, I
I'm
just
blocked by like,
my teeth is showing up in this thing. Girl, what is going on? Okay, I'm about to turn this off. Anyway, baby, no. So I have to be covering my mouth the whole night. What is going on, girl? Look, we might have to go to a commercial so I can work this out. Anyway, let's talk up. Okay. Y'all gonna be out in this thing by yourself today, baby. Look.
you got it, you got it.
Hold on.
Don't
Hold
go
on.
nowhere. Don't go nowhere. You got
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Bless it.
There you
She
go.
done really went
Oh, I'm
somewhere. Really?
here,
You
honey.
turned to a white dot now? That's what you're doing? You just a white dot. I thought you said women of color.
It's still
I
me.
guess white is a color, but come on.
No, it's not. Absolutely
No,
not.
but y'all
She
know
said it's not. Shonda said it's
No.
I
not.
can't have that, baby, because I have. No. So moving
Get over
right.
here.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
so Just Jay, like I said, you are one of the group favorites, okay? And you have had several. We'll let you talk. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself because I don't want to talk about you like that in front of the people. So,
Don't talk
Okay.
about me like that in front of the people. I'm gonna let you work your things out over there and
This my avatar is gonna speak for me tonight, baby. I don't
No,
have
you don't want to see no
much
avatar.
time I took getting prepared for this show, honey. I don't have time. We going forward.
forward and onward, huh?
You
Onward, baby.
better bring your little salt and pepper sexy tail back over here.
Well, I mean, I can say, I'm just saying, look, I
Mm-mm.
might come in like this,
Mm-mm.
like bam, and then but I'm
Bam.
out, baby, because it is not the truth. I'm serious, y'all. I cannot have no. Because the thing about it is, I mean, well, we just might as well go ahead and put it out there. I mean, I have false teeth, obviously. And so now the falsity is like, baby, no, it's all black. You don't think I'm gonna sit up here like that? No, ma'am. So
No,
Did
nobody
nobody
see all
even
that.
see none of
Put
all
your
of
tail
that?
back
What
over
you
here. Okay, come on, y'all.
right?
Jay, tell the people
What?
tell the people tell the people about yourself and how they can follow you if you want people to follow you, because I know you do.
No, no. The crazy thing is, wait. What am I referencing you as? Duchess? Is that what we gonna do?
Yeah, do that.
Okay, Miss Duchess. I'm gonna put the Miss in front of it because I'm all about trying to
Show all
make
types of
sure
respect. I know that's right.
I put a handle on it because I can put a
Put some
handle on it.
stink on it.
I'm just saying. But no, seriously, I don't have a following or anything. I'm just a character whenever I find myself online. Otherwise, I'm real chill in my personal offline life, if you will. And I just like stirring things up a little bit when the opportunity presents itself, just because it can get pretty dry and boring over here. Uh, I tend to juggle a little bit. Y'all know that I've never been shy about that. Hence why I probably was invited onto this platform tonight because I do struggle with sticking to just one. I just find
Right.
women are not like Lay's potato chips. I can't have just one. So uh, yeah, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to anyway. But hopefully, Lashonda can give us some information and help me to navigate whether or not poly is a lifestyle that I'm gonna partake in or not. But I'm huge on educating myself and having as much information as possible before I start adopting any type of philosophy or lifestyle. But
Right. Well,
for all the people that don't have me, go ahead, Miss Duchess.
all the 16,000 women in the group, I felt like that you might benefit from it the most
I
because
might benefit from the poly topic.
several of them. Okay.
My gosh.
You get well. I mean, I don't know if it's online dating or if y'all actually meet each other and go out, but we know because y'all tell about it in the group, and we're like, okay, well, we want to know like what's up, you
Well,
know.
I mean, you know how it is. And like you said, it's been a few years, and I'd be lying if I said, "Oh no, I've only talked to or got with or hooked up with just a couple." That would be false and misleading. But at the same time, of those 16,000, 10,000 of them got me blocked because I piss
Well,
them off on a regular basis. So really, I'm just working with 6K that I can choose from. So
I mean, you only have two hands
well,
That's the
but Polly
deal.
says you
We
can
have
have
other
more,
appendages.
right?
and two toes.
All right,
We
other
just need to use
appendages. That's
hands.
So anyway, y'all, our other guest now, let me read her bio, y'all, because I've been really wanting to read this bio because it is the bomb. She wrote it herself, but I love it. If you ain't about yourself, you ain't about nothing. Okay.
you sure right. Come on with it.
Let's let it be known. Okay, so this hailing from. Wait a minute, that ain't what I was wanting to do. I don't want to do that. Hold up, because I'm gonna have to let this. This is what I want to do. Let me make sure. Okay, now. Okay,
Are you gonna play Straight Outta Compton?
there we go. What? Oh, am I gonna play what?
Straight Outta Compton.
I mean, I could.
No, no, I'm just teasing.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
but here I need to read this. Okay, so just give me one moment. Okay, so. Hailing from the hub city of Compton, California, LaShonda King is the epitome of black girl magic. She has
Mm.
gifted with many talents and passions, and loves using those gifts to lift the Black community. LaShonda is a counselor, cosmetologist, teacher, entrepreneur, and flight attendant. She
Mm.
identifies as pansexual and polyamorous and uses the pronouns she, her, and daddy. Okay, daddy. I know that
Yeah.
LaShonda
Yeah.
is very passionate about the intersections of sexuality, race, gender, and freedom of expression. She loves to talk about sex, personal empowerment, challenging limitations, and Black excellence. In her work as the Compton counselor, LaShonda seamlessly blends counseling skills, empathetic,
Mm.
intuitive skills, and Compton personality to inspire folks to be confident and take charge of their own sexuality, life, career, education, and future. You can check out some videos on her LDK YouTube channel. Hit her up on the gram at the Compton Counselor or email the Compton Counselor at gmail.com. All right. And although she's straight out of Compton, you can find her on a plane or hella loving life in the Bay Area. So welcome,
All
LaShawn.
right.
You some claps. I like that. Okay. We are also live on YouTube, guys. YouTube, guys, if you want to go over and view this live on YouTube, LaShonda, take the floor. And after I've read that introduction, do you have much more to say about yourself? Because if you do, you can.
No, I
Red
mean,
carpet. Red carpet right here. Let's go.
It is.
black carpet.
Okay.
um,
Mm.
all black,
Yeah.
everything. ABE, unapologetic.
I hear you.
No, I appreciate you sharing that, and I appreciate you reaching out to invite me to speak tonight. Um, I'm pretty much an open book, so just looking forward to answering whatever questions you may have and sharing whatever I can that might be helpful to somebody who's listening today.
Well, that is really great. Y'all forgive me for going in and out, but as prepared as I try to be, it's always something. But what we're talking about, Polly, I think the question that I saw the interaction between the two of you on was just people asking about the poly lifestyle and everything. And so, I won't hang too many labels on you, LaShonda, except to say that you are an advocate of the poly lifestyle. Is that correct?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an advocate that people live whatever lifestyle works for them. But, for me, I think that polyamory is beautiful when done ethically and well. And I love, to be able to talk about it and answer any questions, dispel myths so that people can, open their minds a little bit about what it really means.
Mm.
Right,
Mm.
because I think as we were speaking last night, we talked about it. A lot of people, religious people, may or may not, feel some type of way about it. Having read the Bible, we know that it's definitely, prevalent, in every part of the Bible. So we won't go there. I mean, we might go a little bit because sometimes you can't help it, and just to really have an example of something like that. Now, for me, I look at this as just a person who doesn't know, because when
Mhm.
I think of it, I think of it in a way as I'm not sharing my partner, so all bets are off. But this
Mm.
is something that I actually used to, discuss with my pastor, in that we did have a poly family come in, and we are a affirming ministry, where my in ministry is affirming. And so in order to affirm people and affirm their love style and their lifestyle, then of course we have to, you know be accepting of it. And so that's what I'm here today for. Now, Jay, I brought you in because I know you have some strong opinions and everything, and definitely want you to weigh in on it. But Lashonda, I just want to follow up with some of the things we were speaking about last night. As far as the types of relationships, um,
Yeah.
and the relationship dynamics of poly, and what type. I mean, I guess it could be any type of person, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so the thing about polyamory is there's like the actual word just means many loves, right? Because if you think about the etymology of it, poly just means many, and amorous comes from the root of amor, which is love. And so the bad part about how a lot of people see polyamory is that they think of cheating and they put polyamory in the same category as infidelity and assume that people who
Hmm.
live different non-monogamous or polyamorous lifestyles are just looking for ways to justify their cheating or to be unfaithful to their partners, and basically be ain't shit. And I don't agree with that. Although there are some people who really aren't polyamorous people, there are some people who are very unethical with how they practice non-monogamy. Like there are cheaters. Like, I mean, even if you're in a legit established polyamorous relationship, there still can be cheating. There can still be infidelity. There are understandings, boundaries. Every couple, unit, triad, or group of people has expectations and understandings to keep all parties safe. And some people violate those. So people are cheaters in monogamy. Some people are cheaters in polyamory. Sometimes people who struggle with monogamy may need to consider alternative lifestyles such as polyamory, and some of them just need to get it together and
Hmm.
stop being whack. I mean,
Well,
So
all of us ain't whack
go
that
ahead.
struggle with just commitment. And it's not necessarily, at least speaking for myself, um, I've never been a cheater or someone that's been unfaithful or had to play the line game and all of this and that. I just let you know up front that I'm not ready for commitment. And if you're gonna engage with me, you engage with me knowing that you're not gonna be the only one. Uh, at least not. I don't go into it thinking, "Hey, you're gonna be the only person that I'm gonna see." If that happens, that happens. But at any point in time, until we clarify and have a discussion about going exclusive or being monogamous, it's fair game, and the same is true for her. So I question if you're a cheater in the monogamous world, would you also be a cheater and what I would consider being unmoral and unethical because you're not honest, you're not a trustful individual. You'll be that way also in the, what did you say, polyamory world.
yeah,
And I got a question about that term in a second, but go ahead.
for sure. I mean, honesty is critical. Transparency, trust. All those are values regardless of your love style or relationship type. Like, similar to yourself, if I'm not in an exclusive or committed relationship, be it monogamous or polyamorous, like I am still going to be open to more people or multiple people. I've been married before, monogamously, and I've been in
Mm-hmm.
many monogamous relationships, most often monogamous actually. But people who cheat, they're gonna do the same thing, even in the other type of relationship. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're in a relationship type that's called, let's say, a closed triad, where there's three people in a relationship together, the word close indicates that they date each other or that they're married or they're with each other. You can
Okay.
still have people who decide to explore outside of that and are cheating. There's some times where people label themselves as polyamorous to a potential partner, but they haven't discussed that with their wife or their husband or their spouse, and they're cheating. Like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
so if
So
you,
that's what I was gonna. I'm sorry to interrupt
no,
you because
no,
I
go
want to
ahead.
stop here. As far as what Jay, where you were saying that I can understand you telling a person, look, I'm dating. I'm not ready for a committed relationship. Okay. And I am So you won't be the only one and all that. That's, to me, that's not polyamory. That's you laying out your boundaries and setting your standards for
Mm,
that person. Okay.
okay.
So, because if your goal at one point, even in dating many women and not being committed now, if you would, is your end game ever, ever going to be that I'm going to be married, or is your end game, I'm trying to figure out how I want to be married?
Nah, I'm good on that marriage thing. You know, I respect all of those that respect the institution of marriage.
Okay.
I'm one of those that I don't I don't do the marriage thing. Not that I don't believe in it. I believe in it so fervently, if that's the word I'm looking for, that I refuse to touch it. Because if I'm gonna do the marriage, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna do it right. And I expect the exact same thing of her. So for me, it's I date to have fun. And if in the process I catch feelings and I'm like, well, dang, I want to chill with just her, then I'm going to date her exclusively. And then we can go from there depending on how things shake out as we're dating
That's what I'm saying,
exclusively.
because that's not polyamory. Because even if you are dating many, at some point you're saying to me that there's a place of exclusivity that you do respect. So that's, I mean, and because I know that you have not labeled yourself in that way as far as I'm poly
Hmm.
or whatever, but I'm saying,
Right.
as far as your eventual love style, is that when you said you want to do marriage and you want to do it right, so is poly, are you trying to figure out if poly is a right or wrong thing for you?
If it's a lifestyle for me or not. And even then, I'm not gonna want to get married. I'm not gonna say I'll never get married, but I don't want to get married.
Okay, well,
So
let's just take marriage off the table, because I've been married a couple of times, child, and it's all right if I don't get married again. I'm cool with it. But, I mean, I do have a relationship and want it to be exclusive, so that
okay.
I don't date other people. Now, whether you call that serial monogamy or whatever, whenever I get into a relationship, even at the beginning, I always dedicate myself to knowing that person, to getting to know that one person. And
Mm.
I don't, I really don't spread myself too thin, but what you're saying is that you are not in that vein. You date many, and but there could be a point of exclusivity, and
Could. Yep,
there
that's a
was
better
an
word.
exclusive point. Would you want that to just be one person?
Mm, not necessarily. I was just having this conversation with the young lady that I'm quite smitten with. Um,
That's so
we're seeing other
crazy.
people, but I said in an ideal world, me and her would continue to see each other. I would see someone a little closer to me here in Charlotte, not in Charlotte. I don't want to date in Charlotte because they're going to want too much. But if they're an hour or two away, then cool, we can engage on a weekly basis, maybe. And then somebody else, it's you have different needs that somebody one person can't meet all of my needs. I've come to that conclusion.
That was one thing that I was also, wondering about. Is this just about, that there's certain needs that, I was thinking about that line from Why Did I Get Married? You
Your
know,
shoulders look nice, by the way,
oh,
but go
thank
ahead.
you.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. I peeped that. I was like, oh, okay.
That's how it's
But go
supposed to
ahead. I'm
go.
sorry. I'm
I'm just trying
sorry.
to make sure that both shoulders are equally out. Okay. But I was the part in the movie where they are talking about the 80%, 20%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm.
so is the polyamory part, if you get that 80, you need a 20% to fill up your whole cup? Or, I
I
mean,
don't know, Lashonda. You tell us, because I
We
don't know how that
oh
works. I
no.
mean,
nuh-uh. She talking to you, sis. Don't be trying to come for me.
but I don't know if that's the poly thing or not. It's, I just want to be happy,
Right.
and I'm not saying that it's going to take 50 women to make that happen, but if I'm digging you, and you're up in New York and I'm down here in Charlotte, there are needs that I have that you're not going to meet. And I'm not even talking
You
about
set it up
sexually.
like that. You already said they can't live in North Carolina with you because they're gonna want too much. You see
Well,
how
I said they can't live in Charlotte. There's a difference.
color
They
there's
can live in Raleigh.
a group
Yeah, they can live in
Or
Raleigh.
Fayetteville.
exposed Just Jay because Just Jay been running rough shot through my group, baby. And I'm
And I
not
done lost some money.
I'm not
American Airline owed me some money because some of
who
them in your group, man,
Uh,
they,
uh.
woo, woo.
we're not talking
It
about
was
anyway, we're talking about you.
okay. Yeah. We talking about the group. You said what now?
So no, but not the group. I'm saying that as far as this love style, and that was the word that LaShonda used with me.
Love
Love
style.
style,
Okay.
this lifestyle. So coming back to you, LaShonda, let's expound on the love style, lifestyle of poly, and if you
Polyamory, right? Not
poly,
polygamy.
I'm
There's a difference.
I'm gonna discuss that just a little bit. So
Oh,
I mean,
okay. All right.
go
there's
ahead.
a lot of books. There's a lot of Facebook communities. There's Instagram communities. There are in-person, communities. There's so many resources for people to really learn about the love style and kind of determine if it's right for them. It's
Right.
not, it could be for everyone, but of course, everyone thinks that it's not, it's not for everyone. So there are definitely resources where people can learn about it and, decide. But part of it
Okay.
comes from really also needing to be in a healthy place for yourself. You know what I mean? Because um, any relationship, monogamous or non-monogamous, needs to consist of healthy partners. You know what I mean? And the reality of the matter is, all of us have work to do. I go to therapy faithfully every week for years, and I absolutely love it. And every therapist should have a therapist. But I'm a high believer in counseling and therapy because we always have people who support us, our family, our friends, our babes, our boos, our besties. But at the end of the day, we need someone who we can talk to uninterrupted, who can continue to push us and challenge us to help us to grow as people. So listen, my counselor is Bay, that like she holds me down. Thankfully, I believe in kind of manifesting and speaking things into existence. So as a counselor, you can't always just talk to everybody because you speak in counseling language, and people be like, "What? What do you mean projecting? And what do you mean countertransference?" And so when I talk to my therapist, I can speak to her in all the language that I want to because she understands it. And my family and my friends, past and present, boos and bays, like I meet great people, and I only really let great people close to me, but the thing about journeying into polyamory, like for me, I'm similar to you, Jay. Like I recall being in high school and having multiple conversations with multiple guys. Like I never felt like I needed to like stop talking to other people until I had decided like, okay, me and you
Right.
are a thing, like we're exclusive. And then that's when I chose to become monogamous. It wasn't until a few years ago, I was at a wonderful Women of Color weekend in Provincetown, Massachusetts, where I had my first encounter meeting a married woman. So we had these like wristbands at the event. So green was like, come holla. Yellow was like, it's complicated. You might need to have a conversation. And red was like, nah, don't even try it, bro. And then
Really.
purple was, I am not single, but that doesn't mean that I'm unavailable. So that lets you know, just
Oh.
walking around the event for the weekend, who was available for you to talk to.
Was
So
it a lesbian
it's called
women of
Women of
color
Color
group?
Weekend. Yes, Women of Color Weekend is great.
Oh.
So
Hmm.
I was there and I came across a person who had a purple, band on. And I just kind of
Okay.
started talking to her about it. And I mean, my band was purple too. Well, actually, yeah, I had on all the bands except the red one. Yeah.
Bless it.
It's because I'm just a unicorn like that. But so
Okay.
she and
You're a
I began to
rainbow.
talk about it. And like she explained to me, the understanding that she and her wife had. And so I was like, all right, well, I mean, as long as your wife knows, then I'm not doing anything unethical. For me, like, people always want to say, like, people who are polyamorous don't know how to be loyal. They're not faithful. Like, bro, I'm one of the most loyal, faithful, loving, protective people you know. It just might be for a couple people or a few people, and that's okay for me. But me and her, I want to say we dated for like 6 months. And what I learned in that situation was that I needed to be in a space where the partner, the person that I was dating, was in a healthy place emotionally. And also, I had to see how their relationship affected me in our relationship, right? So some people who are in non-monogamous relationships, they date together and sometimes they date separately. So let me
Oh,
just give
okay.
you like a little bit of an overview, like a little bit of a flow chart, right?
All
So if
right.
you have just like the like non-monogamy, that just means not one person. On the unethical side of it are cheaters. And then on the ethical side of it, you have a whole bunch of like umbrellas. So on the ethical non-monogamy side, you have people who might identify ethical and consensual, because you want people to like have a say so in what happens with their life, their love, and their body and their heart. But so on the ethical and consensual non-monogamy side, you have people who might identify as swingers, and swingers are a form of polyamory where people are in a committed relationship, but they can sleep with whoever they want to, be it like recreationally, really like it's a sport because people do that, or socially. There's also a term that some people use called monogamish, and that more so means that people are in a formal, committed, monogamous relationship. But if Shorty's a vibe and I talk to my wife about it, I might go, hit off that vibe. And it's not a relationship that I pursue, but it is a monogamous relationship that does allow for casual sexual partners. And then there's polyamory, so under the umbrella of polyamory, you have polygamy, which more so means marriage, a marriage consisting of multiple people. Then under that, you have polygyny, which is where one man may have multiple wives, polyandry, where one woman may have multiple husbands. And I don't know what the term would be except polygamy for same sex or same gender folks who have multiple spouses or partners, because that definitely is a thing too. There's a whole group called Black and Poly Women where, people are looking for their wives, multiple of them. And some of them identify as lesbian, some of them identify as bisexual, pansexual, omnisexual, but the thing I love about the community is that it's so diverse. The thing that's hard about it, though, is that just like everything in society, all the isms still make their way into any community. So you still, have some colorism, you still may have some sexism, you still may have some toxic masculinity, some patriarchy. You do have some people who still bring in, oppressive thoughts that they've incurred from other parts of their life into the polyamory community. But for the most part, I love the freeness of it, and I love the ability to just love one of the people. So that one relationship, I learned later, which I already knew because I'm an empath and I'm a counselor, that her and her wife were having some challenges, and I learned later that they were going through divorce, which made our relationship, challenging, because then her wife would have some things to say about me and her relationship and our quality time together, because they didn't have a good foundation. But the person that I've been seeing for almost the last 2 years, her and her wife is on point. They are amazing as wives, they're amazing as parents, they're amazing businesswomen. Like, they're dope. I only date one of the wives. And, you know, it's been wonderful. Like, they don't, like, the wife that I don't date does not try to put any restrictions on us. I respect and love their marriage and their family, and do all I can as a person to be a good boo, bae, girlfriend, whatever you want to call me, to that person, because I love her enough to love her family, her child, even her, that extends to her parents and her in-laws. Like, I do things thoughtfully because I love her enough to love the people who she loves. And so I will never do anything that, like, just respects her family, her spouse, whatever boundaries and understandings they have as a couple. You know, my sweetheart and I have discussed that, and I respect those, and she respects me. But I feel loved, taken care of, respected by not just her, but also by her wife. I've met her one time just because we all happened to be in the same city at the same time, and she was wonderful. You know, and I mean that's been my experience. I have dated people who were exploring and trying to see if they thought it was for them, and it wasn't for them. And that's okay too, you know. But yeah, it really has been a good experience for me thus far.
That sounds great. You know, as you were describing your relationship with your sweetheart, my heart chakra was just over here, just bursting wide open, and that surprises me because you speak of her with such love, you know, and you speak of the family with such love. So I mean, uh, you know, I see a love connection, you know, in that. And when I say, I'm not just talking about romantic love, okay, I'm
Mhm.
talking
Oh
about
yeah.
true love, love in
Mhm.
general, love and respect. So,
Yes.
you know, I can definitely respect, you know, a situation like that. And so I want to go on, like you were talking about a previous couple that you were dating, and they
No,
began
dating one of them.
for baby dating one of them, and they were having problems. So with
Mhm.
them having problems, made you have problems. That's
Yes.
interesting to me.
Yeah. So I mean,
I mean,
I met that wife as well, and when I met the wife, it was fine, you know. But I
so
believe
you
that.
think that she just was not okay with the relationship? Because I really want to go into that, because sometimes it's not always a choice, and I guess that would fall under the toxicity.
Mhm.
Basically, you know, she's in a situation where she's in an abusive relationship. You know, she's being cheated on. She just knows. To
You
me,
talking about the person that I was talking about, or somebody else?
no, in the previous. Well, you
No,
know what? Because I
no,
don't
she
know
wasn't.
anything
No, she
about
wasn't
that.
being cheated on.
Right.
Um, no,
I
she
mean,
wasn't
you
being
know what?
cheated on.
I'm not trying to describe that situation. I'm just saying, you know, in my little mind, as far as what I think about it, that's
Mhm.
how I see it.
So no, I mean, I met her wife. I talked to her wife. The problem was there's certain for me personally, I don't tell people how to live in general. I don't tell people how to poly. I don't tell people how to mono. I don't tell people how to be queer. I don't tell people how to live their life unless they ask me. But in their particular case, they were going through a divorce, and that divorce was that conversation and the proceedings around a divorce were present well before I came along. So I know some people who are going through divorces and they're polyamorous, and they still have their own personal health enough and their own they're still in a healthy enough place, even going through a divorce, to still manage outside relationships
Mm,
perfectly fine. And then in this particular case, I don't really think that they were because, you know, one time, you know, me and her were supposed to see each other, and I don't like talk to your spouse about where you're at. She can have my number, like give her the address to the Airbnb or wherever we are, because safety is important. I care about you, and your partner wants to know that you're safe. You need to share whatever information, that's fine. But in this particular case, because they were going through a divorce, um, the spouse had like her own challenges in terms of like ending the relationship.
mm,
And so then that made their conversations about whatever she was going to be doing with me triggering for her, which is understandable. It's a divorce. But at the same time, you can go through that in a monogamous world too. I mean, there's plenty of people who are in long, especially if you have children or property or things like that, divorces can take a long time. Even if they're consensual, there's no disagreement. So sometimes people are in the process of divorcing between like 2 and 4 years, right? So then people start to date. You know, I don't have any opinions on, you know, that either to share, but like that really wasn't the problem. The problem was that didn't choose to hold boundaries between her spouse and our relationship. And I respected her and her spouse's relationship enough to say, you know what? I'm going to let y'all sort through whatever y'all going through. And I'm just going to step back because this is becoming unhealthy for me. Because I respect that you need to talk to your wife about whatever's going on. But what I'm not going to do is have her to put unnecessary or unreasonable restraints on what we can do. Like we were supposed to go somewhere that was probably a couple day like road trip, and the wife was like, well, you can't go unless I go. Girl, you don't want to be in the car with me. you just want to stay at home where you are. So I just told her that it would be best if she didn't go with me on said trip, and also that we stopped seeing each other because obviously she needed to tend to home and didn't have the emotional bandwidth or the boundaries set in place to have a proper relationship with me. And so we ended, and that's it.
And so in that, I mean, I know that, let me just gather my thoughts. Because, I mean, it just still seems like a marriage that, had a side chick came along and they had, because obviously she had a problem with the situation, and in that, so I understand why you left, because it's like, okay, if you're living this lifestyle, okay, then you cannot tell me as what to do with our partner, any more than I can tell you what to do. Because if I can tell our partner that when they see you that they can only do this and this, then that to me is unhealthy.
Well, yeah. So I mean, in the polyamory world, like there are people who practice what's called hierarchical polyamory. So like the relationship that I'm in now is hierarchical, and so that means that that person's wife is above me. And sometimes for some people like me, it's fine. That works fine for me. I don't feel like some other like person. And first of all, as far as like you mentioned the side chick thing multiple times, and like I can't be a side chick if I've met your wife. It's like I'm not nothing on the side. I'm a whole amazing being. And if that adult has chosen to engage with me and I've met their spouse, and if I'm doing what you adults say y'all are okay with until I see anything otherwise.
Right.
So I can't be nobody's side chick if your spouse knows that I exist. Side chicks.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, is that if she had a problem in there with them, because they're the couple, right? They're the
Had the problem. Honestly, she had the problem because I am a beautiful Black queen and she was not.
You could just wrap it all up like that and just put a bow on it, and that can be the whole situation. But
no, I mean,
like I said,
the main thing was they were going through a divorce, and
right.
She agreed to the non-monogamy, and she had seen somebody else too. But I think it was just hard for her because they were going through divorce, and
Right.
they were not in a good divorce. Me and my ex-husband had a good divorce. Like we didn't argue about nothing. The only argument we had was I wanted the washer and dryer, and he in the military and told me that he washed clothes 3 times a day, and I was like, "You're right. You had a washer and dryer." That's the only thing that my ex-husband and I disagreed on when we got divorced. We had a very loving. I have the car that I have because he wanted me to be taken care of. He took care of me in our divorce, and I took care of him in our divorce, and that was fine. Mm-hmm. Their divorce, it was just different, and it wasn't a healthy place for me to be in, so I dipped.
So in your marriage, did you live the polyamory lifestyle in your marriage, and is that something?
My ex-husband was very monogamous. No, it wasn't even an opportunity for monogamish. It wasn't even like, babe, can we have a cute girl? No, he was very, very monogamous and still is. He's a great person, but very, very monogamous. So yeah, no, that wasn't an option. So part of me, exploring I can be monogamous. I mean, it's like if a person is bisexual or under the bisexual spectrum, they can choose if they want to date a woman or marry a woman. They can choose if they want to date or marry a man. The same thing for me being polyamorous. It's who I am, but I still have a choice. Right. I can very successfully be in monogamous relationships. The last person that I that I dated for a year and a half ish, we started off where I was, seeing somebody, and through conversation, I told her, like, if you want to be together, I'm more than happy to be monogamously married to you.
Okay.
And so that's a choice that I can make, just like we all have choices. I'm mature enough to do what I need to do to manage whatever I agree to. I say I'm gonna do it, therefore I'm gonna do it.
And that's the healthy part about it, because in any relationship, whatever your lifestyle, whatever your love style, you have to be a healthy, healed individual to even
Right.
be able to deal with one person, let alone 3, 4, or 5.
Right.
You hear that, Jay?
Oh, I hear it. I hear it.
Jay,
I really feel like you are a healthy individual, because the honesty and the truth does come from you. Whether somebody agrees to accept what you say is the truth, whether somebody agrees to, everyone has a choice, okay? Because you do have women, sometimes you'll give them, you lay it out, put it out there, what's up, and then they still believe, look, I'm gonna change your mind, I'm gonna do this, that, or the
Right.
other.
Right.
And you being the healthy individual that you are will be like, look, that's too much toxicity for you to try to change my mind, because God has given me free will. Okay.
Right. Right.
So
And that's been the biggest problem that I would say that I've run into, and it hasn't been with all the women I've been with. It, they want what they want, and if they see something and I bring something to the table, um, that they've been longing for and that they want, it's difficult for them to accept that they can't have it all to themselves. And don't get me wrong, I
and we back
respect
to
them.
one.
But I tell them I get it, because in some sense, I'm kind of, I guess you could say I'm a little bit selfish too, in the sense that, I mean, if I want you, I want you, and if I want you to the degree that I don't want nobody else to have you, that's just what it is. It's, I want you to myself, or this isn't gonna work.
That sounds toxic too. I don't know why. Why when you said it sounds toxic? I mean, when I said it sounded right, but when you said it, I'm like, dang, that sounds toxic as hell.
Really, really,
the
I've
thing,
been called that before, just because I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to put it out there, Miss Dusters, the way that it is.
I
And
mean, the real low down dirty truth. I mean, come on, it is what it is. But
as I
it's a
see
way
it,
for you to at least speak your truth about who you say you are.
and to communicate in a way that is still respectful. And I think that's the difficult part is, I'm telling you, you know, you can date other people if you want to, but then you're hearing me tell somebody else, no, no, you can't date other people. I want you to myself. And there becomes that struggle between the two. Um, I don't know where I'm at with that, and I don't want to sit here and lie and say, "Oh, I have it all figured out." I don't. Hence, why I'm even on this platform today. But I know when I want something, and I go after it. And if I want it a particular way, I try to engage with women who want the same things that I want and the way that I want them. So I like very feminine, domesticated women. That's just my
what is
thing. And
domesticated?
Domesticate, that sounds like a
Like
cat
a cow or a
or
horse?
an
Like,
owl
wait,
or
is
an
my
iguana. You
cat or my
want an
dog?
iguana?
No,
Just Jay. Is
just,
that what that is?
no.
Iguana? No. I'm playing.
well, I'm just saying I do, and it's funny because I had this conversation today, and the young lady said, "Oh no, I'm all about domesticated duties," and I said,
People are
"Oh,
not
okay."
domesticated. Animals are domesticated.
I know, right?
You can have a woman who enjoys household and domestic duties, and that's her love style, her love language, and how she would like to take care of you in the household. But animals are domesticated, not humans.
But if she refers to herself that way, and
Then
and
she
and
needs to
that,
then she needs to check herself.
or since both of us use that same terminology, she's more of a fit for me than a woman that's like, "Oh, I ain't domesticated." I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa.
So
Okay,
you're
you're
talking about
not.
a woman that
But
doesn't cook and clean in her own home.
And yeah, I
That's
mean,
trifling. That's, you know, that's
sometimes
toxic.
let me
sometimes
see
we
if that's
absorb
a
words
true
that are not
word.
right for us.
Siri, define domestication.
Do it.
Okay.
Ah!
See?
Oh, no, no, no. Wait.
Siri is
Would
on
you
the
like?
home team, baby.
She's supposed to say, "Would you like to hear the second one?" Because there's another
No.
Which
No,
another
that's the
definition.
primary. That's the primary definition of domestication.
But there's
Domesticated.
two.
To take
You
something
know,
that's an
process of
animal
training an animal. How
to
archaic.
be
Oh my God.
to be prepared for the house. So when you have those cute little pigs and the monkeys that belong outside, and people train them so that they can be housebroken and stuff like that, that is domestication.
well,
I
I
love
mean,
me. I love me a good. I will cook, and I don't like to clean, but I will cook all day, every day. But you got to wash the dishes. But like, I will fix your lunch, dinner, breakfast, snacks. But I
iron
would
my
never call
clothes,
myself
wash the
domesticated.
clothes, hanging
I would
up,
do all that.
make sure that the towels are even when I come in, that
I
they
can do
not
all
all
that.
uneven.
I
Oh,
can
she gotta
absolutely
have
do
a
all that, but I will
sanitary
never call
rainbow
myself
towel.
domesticated. Period.
I was just trying to see how you was going to go with that, Miss
I do all
Duchess.
that. I love folding clothes, but you gonna have to come put them away.
Oh,
But no,
I
I
see, and
mean,
then that's when I'm like, oh no, that's your job.
but you know, but it's not a matter of.
But no, I'm really just trying to rile things up a little
But
bit.
what
But
you ain't gonna round me up, bro. What you say preferences, right? So what I hear you saying is I have a preference for a partner who's feminine presenting. And because they be fine. Some of them are fine and some of the non-feminine presenting ones be fine too, which is I like everybody. But seriously,
bam,
what you're saying is your gifts or your contributions to the relationship are not necessarily in the household in the domestic capacity, and that's perfectly okay to say. But don't be calling a woman domesticated because she ain't no dog, she ain't no cat, and she ain't no cute little potbelly pig or no Michael Jackson monkey that you done brought in the house. So
well, I did tell her, bring your domesticated ass over here. Okay, I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. We on the same
because
page.
you're speaking a similar language, because that's what we've been like trained to think. Similarly, like even if you think about like internalized racism, right? Like the language and some of the ways that we speak about ourselves are just a reflection of like continued exposure to oppression. Like it's not that we actually even see ourselves that way. It's more so like that's the vocabulary and the language that people have given us. Like, but what you're saying is you want a chick that can hold it down at home. Cool. That's fine.
Right. Yep.
Does
That's
she
what it come down
have
to.
We all
a,
have our preferences and our strengths.
does she have to have a real like a job, like a
Does
customer
she
service or a nurse and come do that and do it? Like this, like
does
that.
she have to?
Yeah,
She doesn't have to. If she wants to, she she can. I would prefer.
can she?
Well, I'm a little older now, but you know, even just 5 years ago, I didn't want my woman to work. Nope, I want you to stay at home. Your work is the house
Some women
and
love
the
it.
family.
LaShawn and I were talking about something also on last night as far as in poly, where you might have that situation where you don't want to take on any more than you can handle. Then don't take on more families, more wives than you can afford to financially
Right,
support.
right.
If
Yep,
that's the lifestyle that you plan to lead,
exactly.
it's got to be equal give and take on every end, and that means if you spread yourself between 4 or 5 women or whatever, then you have to be able to give to each one of them. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't understand. Like now, Lashonda, you were talking about the who has priority. There's certain relationship styles in that way. There's one that have priorities and all that kind of stuff, and she's she the boss and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes. I mean, so somebody after I'll answer that question first, but somebody had a question as for in the for us in the chat. But to answer your question, I mean, like, we all have preferences. I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody wanting a partner who's a stay-at-home spouse, a stay-at-home girlfriend, a stay-at-home parent, whatever it is. Like, I have, friends that I know who have very successful stay-at-home dads, in their relationship structure. What we were talking about yesterday was polyandry, in other countries, and people not taking on, because you were saying, like, well, it sounds like, that person just might have a whole bunch of, like, baby mamas or a whole bunch of, additional partners. But in
Baby mamas, you know how it is in reality. I mean,
yeah.
it's like that.
So in other countries, that do practice, polygamy as a way of being, like, a man is not allowed to take on more spouses or more wives than
Right.
he can afford to take care of. And so, I mean, obviously, the context of other countries brings in different cultural expectations around what a spouse and what a wife and a husband is supposed to do. But in the context of America, we have a very different lifestyle, especially since, like, the Industrial Revolution and men going to war and women becoming, part of the workforce and stuff like that. So, I mean, when I was married, like, my husband and I back at the time had a discussion about, like, household roles. That man could clean his butt off. And so, but then I love to cook, and I cook very well. So our conversation as a unit was around what strengths and what things we bring to the relationship and would want to, go for it and do. And for the things that both of us didn't like to do, then we would have to talk about how to equitably, like, spread that out. But I would do stuff like, I drove a whole hour and a half to go to work every day. And I drove a whole hour and a half to come home on top of working between an 8 and 10-hour day. But he never went a day. He did not go without food. I would get up in the morning before he left and cook breakfast, make him lunch, make him dinner. But because that's what I love to do. That's one of my love languages. My love language is acts of service. And so for me, it wasn't an imposition that he said, you're my wife, therefore you do this. He loved to grill. He loved to cook too. So sometimes he would just say, well, I want to cook tonight. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter of partnership. And the same thing exists in women relationships and men relationships and people who are, like, non-binary folks. Like, it just, you talk about what it is that you want and you see if that person is compatible. And the same thing happens in polyamory too. So you have what you call nesting partners in polyamory. Like, if you think about a nest, like, bird, it means that you live together. So, like, the person who I date, our wife is her nesting partner. I'll never be her nesting partner because I will never live together. So some people want, like Jay over there. Jay don't sound like Jay wants a nesting partner. Jay can have a whole life partner if she wants to without the title or the institution name of marriage or the piece of paper. But Jay could very well have a life partner who is very well skilled at staying home and holding down the household while she holds down everything else that she needs to hold down. But that's something that they communicate. It's not just something that, like, has to be just because,
Right. So, Jay, do you want a bunch of birds?
A bunch of birds? What's that, babies?
Because I said nesting.
Oh, I'm like, wait a minute.
Like, she wants a nesting partner at all because she doesn't even want them to live in Charlotte.
So, birds got to come in and live in the
They could have multiple households, though. That's a possibility too. That's a real thing. They can do that.
I knew at one point what I did want, and I mean, I somewhat had it, but no, I did want to be in a monogamous relationship, and for us to reside together, her to take care of the home, and then I go take care of business and everything else. It's not that I'm opposed to it. Again, that probably only lasts, for the record, for maybe 2 months before I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. But that was more of
90-day rule. Did she not do the 90-day rule?
Well, I mean, she just changed everything. She came in, and my mother and my sisters, they joke around about how I live like a 19-year-old man, that I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't want a lot of stuff. I'm not flashy. I'm very plain Jane in that sense. And I have a tendency for some strange reason to date women the exact opposite, who I mean, they do the most. And sure enough, she came in and redid everything. And I'm like,
Lord.
I ain't even comfortable when I come home from working anymore. I'm like, I don't even know this place. I can't sleep. All the smells. She did. Yo, she went. I hope she never finds this video. She went and bought.
It might go viral.
Ah, well then, you know. Because I did just ask her to buy me some towels.
Because you know she has a decorative sense.
She does all that. I'm like, look, I need some towels. And I ain't talked to you in a year and a half. But,
oh, you that person.
Well, I wanted a certain type of I'm like, you know my taste and you know what I like. So can you please just be a friend for once and stop yammering in my ear and just go get me some towels? But seriously,
you're asking too much, Jay. I'm not gonna. You can't ask me to go get you no towels in a house.
She said she would. She said, okay. I mean, I guess I should have thought, like, what are you going to want in return? I don't know. But the fact is, I needed some towels.
Towels is very personal.
Oh, my.
You have to know a lot about a person to buy their towel.
She went shopping every single day. And I'm not exaggerating. I started off the text message with, do you still go shopping every day? Because I need some towels. And, you know.
Okay, see, I'm happy to help you. We're going to have to help her, LaShonda.
But I mean, but I'm getting there. Seriously, I'm joking around, but really, I do think if I can find someone I'm compatible with.
Order some on Amazon.
That's what my friends said. They said go to Amazon. And I'm like, for towels? They said you can.
Well, that's your ex-girlfriend or ex-boo thing for towels. Okay, let's make that a rule.
Listen.
Well, I mean, I need towels, and my mama not going to. You said, well, LaShonda.
We're just, we going back and forth now. But I mean, but really and truly, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We've almost been online for an hour and 15 minutes, and God knows that I hate to end the show.
Can I answer the question that?
Absolutely. Please, go ahead.
So somebody had said that your partner is not yours to own or control. Your partner chooses to be with you and share their time with you. And then someone else had asked if we thought that there were any misconceptions about the poly life. And I want to touch on that before we go. So one misconception is that poly is a glorified form of cheating. Another misconception is that everybody in it is just side people, side chicks, side dudes, side people, because not everybody's binary. In that it's all about sex. That people just want to have threesomes all the time or foursomes, all the sums, which are those are
about being a lesbian.
There's also misconceptions about partners being owned or like being only for both partners. Like there's some people who date separately, like if I got married and I had a husband and I decided to get a girlfriend, like that don't mean my girlfriend's for him too. Like my girlfriend is my girlfriend unless my girlfriend consents and wants to date my husband as well, or if I have a wife or whatever. But people have misconceptions that poly people don't have children. People have misconceptions that poly people do not have successful blended poly families. It's absolutely false. There are some beautiful and my favorite. People think that poly is only for white people. There are hundreds of thousands of Black polyamorous people around the entire diaspora. There are some groups on Facebook, Black and Poly, Black and Poly Nation, and combined, I mean, obviously there's some overlap in membership, but those groups have combined more than 50,000 members, right? So there are people who are in family units that have multiple husbands, multiple wives. I've seen one that's so beautiful to me. It's like 8 kids, and they are just holding it down. You know, some of them all cohabitate, you know, some of them don't. I saw a beautiful post where a woman who's going through a divorce, a healthy one, you know, is out at the beach with her 3 kids and one of her other partners. And, you know, they're just it there's so much love in the world. There's so much healthy stuff out there. One time one time someone told me that the reason why I identify with polyamory is because I probably didn't get enough love from my family, and that I probably didn't get enough hugs hugs and the affection from my family. And I'm like, boop, to the contrary. I have a very loving family, very open, very, very welcoming family. And so that's probably why I am polyamorous, because I love love, and I think it's enough love to go around the world. You know, people think that another misconception is that polyamorous people are selfish. They want their cake and eat it too. Like Jay-Z said, if I got cake, I'm supposed to do, right? So like there's so many misconceptions about it. And if it's not for you, cool. Just like being queer. If it ain't for you, keep it pushing. You don't have to like shit on me because it's not for you. But if I like it and I love it and I'm doing it healthy, consensual, ethical, get out my face. I don't care what you have to say. Like, and that's just it. I'm done.
Well, I mean, thank you, because it is, there is some respect. Okay, there are some lines to be drawn, and I think like we were talking about earlier, a healthy individual will
Mhm.
thrive in their relationship choice.
Yeah,
Okay, and that's really just the bottom line. You know,
period.
any relationship can suffer toxicity. Any relationship
Absolutely.
can go through the crossing of boundaries, abuse, and all of that kind of thing. So that's one reason why I wanted to bring you guys on today. And it's been like some extremes. We joke around with Jay and everything with
Yeah.
her dating style, but like I said before, she is honest about who she is and about what she wants, and so and that's commendable as well, because everybody should be. Nobody should. I think when you start getting to manipulation and deception, where a person is in a situation that they don't want to be in, knowing what's going on, they're in a situation where they don't want to be, and or they are in a situation where they are actually being lied to, cheated on, and manipulated. Those are definitely some.
And being robbed of their choice. I'm huge on
Exactly.
respecting their choice, and I'm
Yes.
not going to rob you of it. And
Yeah.
regardless of what you want, you're not the only human being in America that wants what you want. There
Absolutely.
are women out there that they subscribe to the same belief system and lifestyle that I do, or at least in terms of lifestyle choice. You don't have to lie to the other ones who don't, just so
Right.
you can get them, screw them up, and then you out anyway.
But you
Right.
also have to be careful. I mean, other people are ultimately responsible for their own well-being, for their own safety. But you do have people that really aren't subscribed to a lifestyle, but they say that they are just so that they can
Right.
not lose something that they want, or stay by hoping that they can prove themselves to be worthy, prove themselves to be like worth being the one, or otherwise change someone. And so it's their responsibility to like do so. I do have a whole video about this on my YouTube channel about what happens when you catch feelings after casual, or how to like, make sure you're aligned with people. But people have to be responsible for themselves. But as a responsible party ourselves, like and I have gotten way better at this, like lately, but like I had somebody who I was seeing and they were amazing. And then I met this other person and I told them, this is who I see, this is what I do. And she was like, I'm gonna take you from her. Delete, delete
Like,
block.
you know what I want? I want her. And
Right. Yeah. But there's another person who
right.
she knew I was seeing somebody else, and we started to get really close. And she said, we had a mature conversation about it. She said, LaShonda, I really like you. And I said, well, I really like you as well. And she's like, well, but I feel like I like you and I want you monogamously and I want you to myself. And I said, and I understand why you would feel that way. I think I treat you really well, but you
Fell out
already
with a
know my
great person.
limitations around
Anybody
that.
would want.
And as adults, we talked about it, we communicated, and we saw that we were misaligned in that like desire. And so we parted ways in a romantic capacity in a place that was still healthy enough for us to remain friends and be on good terms now. So
that's good. That's really a good thing because, you should want to maintain healthy relationships, whether or not you can see yourself as, whether or not that relationship is viable in the way that you originally, determined for it to be. You still should be able to let go and be okay letting go without all the animosity and, extra stuff.
right. Before we leave, I just want to list off a couple books, if that's okay with you, and then I'm gonna be quiet. A few books that might help people. Opening Up: A Guide to Creating and Sustaining Open Relationships by Tristan Taormino. The Smart Girl's Guide to Polyamory. Polysecure: Attachment Trauma and Consensual Non-Monogamy. The Ethical Slut. And More Than Two: A Practical Guide to Ethical Polyamory. And then on Facebook, two of the bigger Black communities for polyamory are Black and Poly Nation, and they're on Instagram at Black_Poly_Nation. And then the Black and Poly community is just Black and Poly, and I'm sure that they have a Facebook too. Instagram too. Obviously, y'all can find me at the Compton Counselor. On the YouTube replay of this video, I will link my YouTube channel. So you can kind of see, some of my videos, if anything is helpful there. I have one on like family and friends or loved ones being dismissive, what to do if you're catching feelings after casual. For Jay, how to spice up, how to handle long distance relationships. So I have a few videos on there, but I hope that something I said or some of the resources I shared are helpful for people considering the love style. And if it's not for you, don't come for us, because we didn't send for you.
Okay. That's great, because the one that stuck out to me and this like just stuck in my head, The Ethical Slut. I think I'm gonna go on and read that. I just want to read it, just see what's talking about. I like the title, if nothing else.
Yeah. I'm a proud host, so I hear you. I'm an honest host.
You what?
I said I'm an honest host, so I hear you.
Ethical sluts and honest hoes, baby. I am here for it. I really am. Okay. I'm here for it. But anyway, y'all, I would like for you guys. Do you have any last words, Jay?
No, I appreciate this opportunity. Shonda, thank you very much for educating us. And Miss Duchess, thank you for this platform and making it optional, not just for myself, but for the group and all of your viewers and listeners. This was awesome. Thank you very much. Gave me a lot to think about.
Jay, I'm gonna come visit.
I need to read.
I'm gonna come visit you in Charlotte.
Come on. We gonna come on, girl. Don't get stuck. Come on.
Well, thank you guys. And so signing off for now, you guys also remember, please join me tomorrow. I am going to be talking with a trauma specialist, and we are going to be talking about healing. So if you tune in, yes, we can definitely talk about some healing. So that way, whatever type of relationship you get into, you will be a healthy, whole person too, and you can contribute 100% to that relationship, and not just that little tawdry 80%. All right.
Yeah, that whole 80-20 thing is, that's not contributing 80% of a person. It's just saying that,
Yeah, it's like walking around with you.
That's okay.
All right. Good night, you guys. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you guys for the comments, and join me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We'll be talking to you soon. Good night.
I'll see y'all in the chat.
You, ladies.
I'll ask questions and put the resources in the chat. But good night, good evening, good morning. Everybody have a good day.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That nigga go eat. If they got shoes, I got shoes, and we got shoes on our feet. Whole team come together just to make ends meet. It ain't about what you eat, nigga, it's about how you eat. Don't get the family straight, and we gon' be okay. Go get it and come back with it every day. No matter how we do it, we get to that money. We we forgot about you, cousin. Long live Lil Money, bitch. Whole team, whole team, whole team. That shit, that's why the whole team good. Sits in, the whole team speaks. When it's money before the time, the nigga, the whole team wins. Whole team, whole team, whole team. That shit, that's why the whole team good. Sits in, the whole team speaks. When it's money before the time, the nigga, the whole team wins. And on my team, it ain't no ordinary niggas. Keep them big heads like on them shoulders of snake figures. And you can't eat with us if you're not beneficial. Can't even be in the presence of niggas that's artificial. The kill is easy, the whole team fly supreme. Type of niggas still wear them Texas creases in they jeans. Keep money on their mind and they family and they dreams. Got them paycheck stubs and that work for them fiends. This shit came easy for the team. Fuck you thought. Ran through my first buck, second most rent is what I bought. A dime to a nigga ain't got shit mean the world. Is why I pray for my team every night before I curl. Whole team, whole team, team. That shit, that's why the whole team good. Sits in, the whole team speaks. Finish money before the time, the nigga, the whole team wins. Whole team, whole team, whole team. That shit, that's why the whole team good. Sits in, the whole team speaks. Finish money before the time, the nigga, the whole team wins. From the babies to the queen bee, that's that T-John. All my niggas on that team shit. Take care home, and the bloodline strong. Never go against the grain. Stay down till we come up. Whole team maintain. Don't fear, don't fold, nigga. The whole team side. Be putting something with something. Make sure the whole team got it. Can't see for looking something. The team know you watching. That's why we go get it and come back with it. No odds. Whole team on it out. Play the wheel with no practice. And there's nigga real on the team. Ain't no acting. Cause nothing is show life. That's why it's called the hustle. And mama taught me that. That's why I gets it out the muscle. My team loyal, man. I love these motherfuckers. Since day one, it's been nothing but me and these motherfuckers. And we will show with it. Showcasing this exposing. And my business ain't show business. Trent said, bitch, I talk. Whole team, whole team, team. That shit, that's why the whole team good. Sits in, the whole team speaks. Finish money before the time, the nigga, the whole team wins. Whole team, whole team, that shit, that's why the whole team good. Sits in, the whole team speaks. Finish money before the time, the nigga, the whole team wins.